Messi, encara Messi, encara Messi, encara Messi, encara Messi, encara Messi, gol, 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 gol.
Win this one and crosses the line in a wonderful win.
What you got? A billion could never buy.
Behind every highlight reel of a genius lies a truth that is rarely mentioned. Society often uses the concept of being a late bloomer to soothe the anxiety of the masses. They say everyone has their own time zone. But as time passes and nothing changes, a stark reality begins to emerge. Perhaps there is no hidden talent here at all. Look at Yatora Yaguchi, a student who maintains excellent grades, smokes, and drinks with friends just to maintain social standing. Yatora builds a perfect, effortless facade, but in reality, it is a void of direction. He observes those with true passion with a mix of pragmatic calculation and silent envy. It is exactly like the way many people experiment with new hobbies, buying a guitar, signing up for a course, being excited for the first few days, but the moment complexity arises, the moment the results don't meet expectations, frustration immediately appears. The guitar is left abandoned in a corner, and a reason is given to end it all. Maybe I just don't have the gift. Admitting a lack of innate talent is a safe retreat. It allows the individual to avoid the truth that they simply gave up too early. Accepting oneself as useless is sometimes easier than exerting effort to the point of exhaustion, only to realize that one's limits are just that. Yaguchi shattered that safe mindset. Everything changed the moment he hand-painted the blue morning of Shibuya. It wasn't a moment of sudden genius. It was the first time he realized that spoken language wasn't enough to describe his world, and that painting was the only tool for him to truly communicate with reality. But as Yatora committed himself, he understood a truth. What society constantly praises as talent is, in fact, a sophisticated excuse for laziness. We call someone a genius because it makes us feel relieved for not putting in the same effort. If they succeed because they have it, then our failure is because we don't, an incredibly cozy logic to protect the ego from self-doubt. He fired back at his friend's praise with a decisive perspective, cutting through all illusions. When you call what I do talent, you are denying all of my effort. Yatora chose to give up the status of an effortlessly smart person to become a miserable apprentice. He understood that lacking innate talent isn't a barrier, but a mandatory condition to begin. Talent isn't something you possess at the start. It is a label others give you once you've reached the very end of perseverance. For Yatora, talent is just an empty word. The only thing real is the trade-off. Psychology calls the conflict in Yatora's head a battle between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. A fixed mindset is a toxic belief that skills are monolithic blocks, pre-carved from birth. If you can't do it well the first time, the brain immediately issues a sentence: you don't have the right stuff. By believing this, any difficulty becomes proof of incompetence, causing people to retreat to protect their self-esteem. Modern society exacerbates this disease with the illusion of perfection. On social media, no one displays thousands of crumpled drafts. You don't see the dark circles, the state of dazed exhaustion Yatora felt after sleepless nights in the art room. The scenes of him breaking out in hives from pressure or vomiting at the entrance of the exam hall are usually omitted from inspiring success stories. The halo of the result has completely obscured the darkness of the execution. But those who operate with a growth mindset, like Yatora, understand that failure is just data. When he paints a light angle incorrectly, he doesn't sit around complaining about a lack of gift. He observes the deviation, breaks the problem down into segments, value, proportion, composition, and does it again. What the world calls the light of genius is actually built from the darkness of tens of thousands of hours repeating the most boring and painful tasks. Yatora proves that skill is not a gift from the sky, but a calculation of trade-offs. The more you are willing to accept the ugliness of your first drafts, the closer you get to what is called talent. The question, what am I good at, is a trap leading to insecurity. It is a cozy prison that keeps people waiting hopelessly for an innate miracle. The more pragmatic, more brutal, yet liberating question is, what trade-off am I willing to accept? Every high-level skill in this world comes with a sentence of misery. True ability doesn't lie in a favorable start or early praise. It lies in the capacity to endure frustration from your own clumsy hands and deciding to continue anyway. Yatora didn't choose art because he was good at it from the start. He chose it because no matter how badly he painted, he wanted to pick up the brush again tomorrow. Realizing you have no innate talent is not a curse, it is a privilege. Because you are nobody, there are no grand expectations weighing you down. You are allowed to be wrong. You are allowed to create things that are terrible and ridiculous. The greatest freedom of an average person is invisibility. This is your opportunity to quietly rebuild yourself from zero, using the rough bricks of silent, stubborn effort. When you strip away the illusion of talent, you realize that skill is something that can be hacked through meticulous observation and iron discipline. You don't need to be a genius to start, but you need to start to become what people will later call a genius. The world is never short of people born smart, but true respect is always reserved for those with tired eyes who stubbornly refuse to surrender. Being born ordinary is a reality you cannot choose, but how you face that ordinariness is a life-altering choice. You can continue to use the word talent to excuse your stillness, or you can start trading as Yatora did. Before this video ends, answer one question as honestly as possible. If all the judgments and expectations of this world completely vanished, what is the one thing you would still patiently do every day just to prove that you are truly alive?